Hello and welcome to the Real Short Box. You guys, this might be our most special episode because the Real Short Box. So I'm sorry, I'm Jarrett.
My name is Dr. Kevin.
I'm Donald.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got really excited because we just had
Oh man,
a sneak peek of the Justice League film. It was literally us and like a handful of people. They did a couple other websites and let them
Be blessed with the honor.
other podcast websites.
what a blessing it was, especially for all three of us to get in to see it.
Yeah, so we just saw it. We're gonna give you a full spoiler-filled review of it.
Be aware. Be prepared.
So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, please, honestly, don't listen to this episode because we have to go fully into this one.
It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous not to give spoilers.
Yeah,
I think.
you have to know what's going on. Once you see it, there's no way you're not going to want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to go on. Kevin, what did you think about the opening?
I thought the opening was spectacular.
Well, I mean, okay, so we start out on a farm in Kansas.
Which is kind of like, oh, are we in a Superman film or what?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they had to follow up to Batman vs. Superman. They had to give you a little taste of what happened at the end of the movie. Got to go back to that scene.
Right, but like the fact that we're teased Darkseid so quick into the film was surprising. The fact that his boot is standing on top of Kal-El's grave
It's powerful.
very powerful.
Which you didn't think they were going to go right into, but they flat out,
boy, do they ever.
they flat out introduced Darkseid first 5 minutes of the film.
Mm-hmm.
This is what shows you, I believe maybe Joss Whedon may have had a part of that to help enhance Zack Snyder's skills, added to it.
Well, I don't think so much that Joss had a big say in this part because it didn't have the comedy, it didn't have the heart. It was all kind of like, I mean, when Batman shows up in that giant suit, and and it's the same suit from Batman versus Superman,
Which I thought was pretty fucking obnoxious.
I mean, granted, this one's kind of a different take on it. It's more hardened, kind of a crystal looking suit.
Yeah.
It's almost clear, and you can see Batman in it operating it, and he apparently got a signal whenever somebody's near Superman's grave.
Yeah. And
that,
the one part that bothered me though is it was like, so you come from the Batman versus Superman thing where you don't know, like they're fighting, but then the fucking Martha thing or whatever.
Yeah.
But it immediately so Darkseid's gone now. That was supposed to be like, I don't know, some kind of past shit.
Yeah.
So Batman's there and he goes to the grave and he looks at it and there's this like almost like huge hold on Ben Affleck's face, and then they literally did the single tear going down.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
That's it started out
Yeah.
like, to me. It was like, oh no.
Yeah, and then I swear to God, I thought you heard, like, I think under his breath, Ben Affleck was like, Martha, like he says Martha,
Yeah.
and then like zip lines out, like back to his the Batwing.
But it would be set for a later payoff, as we know.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
it teased that part because let's be honest, there is a big spoiler, and it's a super one. Mm-hmm. And Kevin, that's your guy, Superman. Obviously, Superman comes back.
Yes.
Yeah, which we all knew was going to
And
happen.
of course, he wore the black costume.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where that robotic thing comes into play. Then that Batman's wearing. It's more. It's a larger version of what they had. It was weird. It's a larger version of what they had in the movie. Mm-hmm. But I think Batman must have tricked it out. I don't know. They do a lot of past and present kind of back and forth.
Yeah, they do. They do the dream sequence shit a lot again. Like they did one where you see Bruce Wayne like seeing his parents get killed in front of him, but then he has this weird thing where he sees Superman's mom too, and I was like, what the why the fuck why would he see Superman's mom? Like they really like. I think they say Martha like 50 times in the first 10 minutes of the film.
I think it was the fact that when they did the trailer and Tony Stark was boning, or they alluded to him boning Aunt May.
Right.
I think they're alluding Bruce Wayne boning Ma Kent.
Yeah.
And that's kind of creepy.
That's very creepy.
But
if you think about it, she was younger. It's Diane Lane, and she was younger looking and all that.
Right.
So then they jump right into. They start trying to introduce the Justice League members. They have the Flash in that one thing with Captain Cold and Mirror Master, which I thought was cool.
But it's not the Mirror Master we all hoped and dreamed for.
No, he's got like he was I don't know what the proper nomenclature is. Little person. He wasn't a midget, but he was a little person.
Kind of like Puck.
Yeah, Puck in a Mirror. So think of Puck from Alpha Flight in a Mirror Master costume, and then doing all his like. It was all like reflection shit. Like, you know when you like hold like a magnifying glass and you can like burn like an ant, like that thing?
Yeah.
He was doing a bunch of stuff like that. And it was like to burn the Flash's like heels. It was fucking stupid. And then so the Flash takes him out real quick. The Captain Cold guy was cool.
Yeah. Well, he was way better than the TV version.
Yeah, he didn't. He wasn't like, what do you do if you're Captain Cold? No, he was just a normal guy with a cold gun. And
But
he
they
was
really,
cool.
I think they upped the ante when like the Flash just he put his fist through his chest.
Yeah, I still am not sure what the DCU is doing with this whole violence, not like, Batman killing people, Flash kills Captain Cold. They're kind of like ruining, like they're killing off their like rogues because they're just kind of going straight through.
But they have a history of doing that. DC in general with movies. Like if you
Zod,
think about it,
yeah.
Zod, the
Even
Joker,
Joker.
with
Jack
Nicholson,
Nicholson.
and Two-Face with
Two-Face.
the Batman one.
Well, both Batman movies they kill off
Yeah,
Two-Face.
yeah. So that's true.
They
So,
hate Two-Face.
It's just like a tradition apparently for DC movies to just kill off their characters instead of like reusing them or recycle. It's just
So here's where the
sense.
weirdest thing comes. So then they do a quick thing with Cyborg and
In the mother box.
in the mother box, but then they do a quick thing where it's like all of a sudden the Justice League is together, which I was like, you're just jumping to like they're a team? Like it was kind of weird. And this is where you can see the Whedon stuff. They did that joke with Flash teabagging Cyborg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so random. Like I was like so they cut to like the jail watchtower and Cyborg's lifting weights, and obviously he can lift more weights because he's Cyborg now. And
What about the Aquaman like out drinking everybody at that bar?
yeah. Oh yeah. They did a. Yeah, that's right. That's when they introduced Aquaman. He was at a bar and he was like, "I can outdrink all of you," and they're like, "Oh, you can't." And they literally have like a 10-minute scene of Aquaman. It was like some
until
until
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman shows up and she's like, "I'll outdrink all of you."
And that's only because that part that we see in the trailer where Bruce Wayne comes in there and he's trying to recruit him, and he's like, "I won't fight for you."
Right.
He's like, "I won't fight for any of you. None of you can even outdrink me. None of you are man enough." And then that's when like the door
But
swings
Wonder
open,
Woman's man enough.
and
yeah.
Wonder Woman's like,
Yeah.
I'm man enough.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, he's like thunderstruck. You could see it, and that's
Yeah.
another Whedon kind of thing where you see this kind of there's a big banter between Wonder Woman and Aquaman that takes place all throughout the movie, and I think that's where you find your little gems, your pieces of gold there.
But
that
ba-
banter was just phenomenal.
But back to the obvious like Whedon stuff. So like they literally have Cyborg bench pressing weights. And he's bench pressing more weights, and he's like, "Flash, put more on." Flash can move really quick. He's like, "Move, put more on." And it literally comes to the point where you can't put any more weight on the bar.
Yeah.
And
He's like, "What's that
and,
taste?"
And then, no. Well, no. Then he's like, "I got one more for you." And you see Flash was like codpiece over Cyborg, and he's like, "Teabag for you?" And he's like, get out of here. Like it's funny, but I was like, did they just do a teabag joke in the Justice League film? Like,
Yeah.
it was hilarious. Yeah.
Little
I'm
silly,
guessing. I'm just guessing that's a Whedon joke. But I'm
Now,
not-
let's not forget the little Green Lantern tease.
oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Well, they finally gave us who everybody thought was going to get cast, Army Hammer, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's the Green. Spoilers. He's the Green Lantern.
Right. And I
Yeah.
wish they'd done more with him
Yeah.
instead of just like a post-credit thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. It was a post-credit thing. Army Hammer is Green Lantern. Spoilers.
You gotta wait clear to the end, guys.
Yeah, later. You gotta wait till the end, and it's like, it's not even like after the credits. It's
Well,
like,
yeah, it was so cool because the credits started to turn like almost kind of a green, and they melted.
yeah,
Is what it looked like. It looked like the real melted.
yeah, and then it forms into the symbol of the Green Lantern
Right.
Corps, the ring, and
Sets up the Green Lantern Corps movie
then
coming
it says,
later.
well, yeah, and Army Hammer's like, it shows the ring shining, pans out to him, and he's just like literally like smirking at the camera because it's literally. I honestly think that's like the whole like yeah, you knew it was gonna be me, you guys,
Mm-hmm.
and then it has Kilowog come up and be like, yeah, you poozer, let's like get cracking, start training, and then it shows them almost like a Rocky ending with like him and Apollo like about to clash, and then it ends.
Yep. Yep.
But prior to that, the dark side stuff, all the Apocalypse stuff is fucking awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is where Snyder really hones his craft.
Yeah.
I mean, he came from the music video world, so he knows how to paint a pretty picture.
Yes, he does.
And he certainly does with Apocalypse.
And I'm not I've said it before, I'm not a fan of Snyder because I think he just uses green screen too much and there's not enough soul in his stuff, but the fact that Apocalypse isn't a real place and he really like digitally or whatever creates it's really cool.
It does. It looks
Yeah.
so real.
Parademons,
The Parademons look way better.
Yeah.
They kind
Desaad.
of they showed Desaad, Calabac. They kind of I think you see the female Furies in the background at
They
one part.
tease Orion with his helmet sitting there.
Yeah, they tease Orion, and I'm almost positive we're gonna get Mr. Miracle in one of these. They show Big Barda for sure. Like Big Barda's like
You sure that was her?
well, because they teased the female Furies, remember?
Right.
And you see Big Barda as part of the female Furies, which she was originally. So I'm guessing that they're gonna do like I don't know if it's gonna be the sequel to Justice League,
Like a spin-off, or do you think they're going to put him in?
I think it'll be like a
They'll
sequel.
probably put him in the next
probably.
movie.
Yeah.
and then maybe spin him off because
Yeah.
they didn't get there. I mean, if there's not enough screen time for him.
Yeah.
No.
I think Mr. Miracle is gonna be like the shining star. Like he's gonna be like the one you never thought was gonna be big, but I think he's gonna be big. Like I think they're gonna introduce him like hardcore. in the
Let's
next
talk about the
villain?
the dark horse in the group of this. And they actually, I'm really surprised at how many characters they tease
Yeah.
in the Justice League movie. Like if you look really carefully, you will see there's a flashback and there's a scene in New York and there's a park bench, and the park bench is literally red with white in some like flesh color, and you know that park bench is Plastic Man.
Oh yeah.
That was a hell of a tease.
I know, right? It just snuck it
No,
right
but
in.
remember when they were about to cut to Apocalypse, and you saw his head pop out for a split second. He was like, "What?" Like, no,
Well, yeah,
that was for 110% of Plastic Man. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah, but you had to catch it fast. If you weren't paying attention, you weren't going to see it. Because the action wasn't taking place right there.
Yeah.
It was taking place off to the right-hand side of the screen, and he's more over towards the left, the bench. It just like kind of walked past it, really.
And did you hear the reference when Darkseid was like, "There's nobody who could like defeat me, let alone your team. Maybe you, Superman." And Superman was like, he's like, "There's another, a mighty mortal, Captain Marvel." Remember he mentions Captain Marvel. So that was
yes,
obviously a tease
yes.
for
Shazam!
Shazam. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, and they're bringing Black Adam into there, and all
Yeah.
that's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because we're going to be probably setting up what they're going to be is the what is it, the Doom Legion of Doom?
Legion of
or-
Doom.
Yeah, they're going to. That could be the next one potentially.
And what about New Genesis?
They didn't show it that much though. It wasn't like
No, they just showed it as the opposite of Apocalypse. That's
yeah.
it.
They had Highfather kind of be like
Well, yeah, they just showed him in like
they're
briefly.
Odin.
Is that like they're
Yeah.
showing this
When they were
old
showing, like,
bearded
the
dude with
hit-
the staff? Like
well, because they do that thing where they show the history of New Genesis and
Yeah.
Apocalypse.
it's just very brief, guys. So
Yeah.
don't get too excited
No,
about New Genesis.
New Genesis is barely on it. It's basically, I would say, 80% Apocalypse. I don't know. I guess. I mean, what did you like it?
Did you like Steppenwolf as the villain?
Did I? Yeah, I mean,
Well, he was
DC
such a ruse because obviously Darkseid was the main villain.
right. DC has such a history now of doing that with these characters.
Yeah.
They'll tease one person, and then the main person appears, and then there's this big huge fight.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Steppenwolf being like the lead, something of the lead villain. The cool thing with him is that's a good actor. You know, he played Mance Rayder on Game of Thrones. He played Julius Caesar on Rome. I like the guy. He's a
Yeah.
good actor.
Yeah, no, he's a great actor. He's
No,
a
but he
great
was
actor.
cool. But you know what it reminded me of?
Who?
Iron Man 3. Like,
Oh.
Ben Kingsley is the Mandarin.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, he's going to be the big villain. I got they did that in the trailer.
But the comic nerds,
Nope.
The comic nerds understood what the deal was. It's just the average person may not have understood that.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Fucking average people.
And
Oh,
and I
sorry.
think that's the whole next tease for Flashpoint.
Right.
And that I think when Captain Cold was killed, that kind of, for me, that's when I was like, oh no, fuck this movie. But then they kind of teased that he had to fix some things. Barry needed to fix some things, and he went back in time
Right.
to do it because a few of our favorite characters in this movie do die.
Yeah.
There are some big deaths.
Well, oh no, we are spoiling.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman dies, and
I think you cried when that happened, didn't you?
It was crazy. Cyborg gets pulled apart.
Cyborg gets pulled up. Cyborg's pretty much, they alluded that he was dead.
Yeah, but you don't really see it.
Yeah. So everything's going chaotic on Apocalypse, and Flash is like, I could reverse this. I could fix this.
Yeah.
Because he probably felt bad for teabagging Cyborg before.
Could
So he does the Flash, I'm going to go back in time shit and fix it, and obviously fucks it up. And it shows him going back, and it's pretty much going... I don't know if it's for the Flash movies going to be in Flashpoint, or... I mean, I don't think it'll be the Justice League. I think the Justice League will be its own thing.
Yeah, I think they're teasing the Flashpoint movie because he goes back in time and then suddenly these characters reappear and they're fine, and that's what helps turn the tide.
Yeah.
But I think the ramifications of what he does is going to be seen in the Flash movie that
Right.
we get. And I think that's where they're going to bring in Flashpoint. And I think it's because they made such a multi-picture deal with these guys. They learned from Marvel. And they made such a multi-picture deal, specifically with Aquaman being, what's-his-face, Momoa?
Jason Momoa.
And
Oh,
Gal,
and- sorry,
Wonder
we
Woman.
do have to mention that they do... Aquaman loses his hand, they do give him the hook hand, as if you're a Justice League, like an old JLA fan,
That's true.
they give him the hook hand.
But it's like a
In this, which I thought they would have given him in
it's
Aquaman.
an apocalypse kind of hook hand. It's not really even like a fisherman's hook. It's more like a New Genesis apocalypse kind of technology.
Apocalypse uses his the Omega beams to zap off Aquaman's hand.
That shows he means business.
Yeah.
Darkseid, I mean, yeah, Darkseid.
So then Darkseid, yeah. And then did I say Apocalypse?
Yeah.
Because we're on Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
So and then he gets like he builds himself or finds like I don't know, it was like I forget how they described it, but he has like a parademon. Yeah, make him like a new hand. It's kind of the hook hand, but different.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of surprised they did that in this film. I thought that was going to be more of an Aquaman.
Right. But that also, do you think that there's Mother Box technology in that?
Maybe. Yeah. Oh yeah. By the way, everything is Mother Box.
Yeah. They go a little overboard.
Once
with it.
they get to Apocalypse, every other word is Mother Box. They're like,
Yeah.
"Hey, did you do the Mother Box?" And I was gonna get you. The Mother Box did it. And the Mother Box.
Did you say Martha? No, I said Mother Box.
Yeah.
Did you guys at least like the ending, like the final battle sequence?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I think this is the movie, the dark horse of DC. Everybody thought that Wonder Woman was so great. I thought it was okay, but I think this was a better film.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
My only thing. Well, I don't know about that, but I will say that I don't think they should have killed Darkseid. Already, like because.
Well, he's gonna come back.
I know, but it's like don't kill. Like stop killing people. Like what you said, Captain Cold, Zod. Stop killing people.
But
And it was
yeah,
such a,
well,
like,
yeah,
a
Superman needs to stop killing people. That's for
And
goddamn
exactly,
sure.
and Superman kills him. So it's just like pretty much you've made Batman and Superman murderers.
Yeah,
Is pretty much what you've done.
Well, Batman in the early comic book days did use guns and did take people out. In the
I know,
very
but that's
earliest
not the
days.
Batman or Superman
let's-
that everybody
let's-
knows.
Like, anybody can argue that. Anybody can argue with Superman. I went on Facebook and I had a half an hour argument with a guy about him telling me that Superman, the movie, Man of Steel, was great, and that Superman went to extreme measures, and that's what you have to do. And I'm like, no, Superman doesn't kill. And he's like, yes, he did. Blah 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 blah. Here's some things, examples. And I'm like, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no. He's the big blue Boy Scout
But Christopher
guy.
Reeve technically killed some people in Superman too. He took out Zod when he threw him under that.
When he threw him at the Coke sign,
Not
no.
necessarily.
the best promotional for Coke, and he's like,
Just a.
Coca-Cola.
In those Superman movies, you should only count the first one as being anything worthwhile for
well,
Superman.
to me, I just do the Richard Donner cut because to me,
Yeah, that's awesome.
that
Yeah, that's
is
awesome.
The
It makes part 2 even better.
yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Terrence Stamp and the rest of the gang are great
Yeah.
in Superman 2. It's just he pulls off his ass and throws him.
The plastic.
What
ass.
is that shit?
cellophane
yeah.
ass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they didn't do anything like that in this movie because that would just take you completely out.
Yeah.
Although there was one scene that was a little ridiculous.
More than the teabagging scene? Because that was
Yes.
pretty ridiculous.
I think you guys know which one I'm talking about. It
Yeah.
revolves again. It revolves with the Flash. He seems to be their Joker of the group for some reason. Although Barry Allen didn't have a great sense of humor ever in the comics that I can remember. It was always Wally.
Wait, was it the one where he's like, when they're having an official team meeting and Batman's being super serious and Flash is like, oh yeah, I know a way to like get everybody like on board, and he goes like crotch shot, and he keeps like zipping around and like lightly punching Batman in the balls. Yeah, a lot of oh yeah. By the way, you never would think this. Justice League, a lot of ball jokes. I don't know if that was Whedon or what.
Punching in the nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like Whedon's statement on what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Being comfortable with balls.
It's sorry for
Right.
Gal Gadot to have to be exposed to such jokes.
literally.
I will say this: they totally. I gotta say, like because they probably were working on Justice League before Wonder Woman and didn't realize the success of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But they kind of treated the Wonder Woman character like shit. Like obviously dying, but like before that,
Underused.
she wins the drinking contest. But after that, like they did that weird like possible love affair with Aquaman, but then it switched to Batman, and then it switched to like
Wait, trying to do a Scarlet Witch, a
Black
Black
Widow?
Widow type
Yeah,
thing.
like
They switched to Superman.
yeah.
Then
I was like,
eventually.
why does she have to have romantic interest in all these people?
Which is really weird. I don't know why she would kiss Superman near the end when she's dying.
Yeah, that was all out of the blue.
Yeah.
So she's dying, and she like deeply, passionately French kisses Superman, which up until this point she's had no
interest in
no
whatsoever,
interest in it
really. You
whatsoever.
don't even see anything like that.
No.
And you're like, wait, what about Lois? You
Yeah.
know, everybody always forgets about Lois when
Yeah.
it comes to Wonder Woman and Superman.
And she kisses him, and Superman's like totally into it, and she looks at him, and she's like, "My man." She
But
says,
yeah.
"My man." I was like,
But
"Why
I
would you say
wonder-
my man?"
like,
Like, that defeats the purpose of like.
I wonder what the regeneration suit. Maybe if that's what kind of changed Superman, and not only changed him physically, but it changed him mentally to where like maybe he's no longer with Lois or something,
Yeah.
or maybe the Flashpoint already happened at that point,
Yeah.
and Barry changed it because he did go back
Yeah.
before that. So we see then Wonder Woman and him be intimate, and it's just very confusing.
I don't know.
We have to
Well-
explain this later.
Is that a good enough review? I guess.
I think we all get the gist of it. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, we start out on a farm in Kansas. Darkseid's there. Batman appears. Then we realize that Batman's not there to fight Darkseid. Batman just
Yeah.
is there to visit, Superman's grave.
Lots of apocalypse stuff. Lots
Right.
of
We know
ball
that
jokes
Superman's
for some
gone
reason. Yeah.
somehow because he does this scanning thing.
Cyborg is-
Cyborg teabag with Flash.
Cyborg pretty much dead. They don't really say he's dead. Wonder Woman definitely dead.
Aquaman on board because of a drinking
Yeah.
contest. with
Oh, and
Wonder
and
Woman.
Aquaman gets the hook hand apocalypse style, and yeah.
Right. Steppenwolf is kind of a
Yeah, Steppenwolf is not the villain. It's
MacGuffin,
Darkseid.
basically.
Yeah. But and then of course, like we said, stay after for the Green Lantern
Credits,
reveal.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that has been our big review for Justice League, guys.
Yeah,
and
we were very fortunate and very thankful to be invited to see that.
Yep. And
Thank our connection who works at Warner Brothers. We appreciate that.
We will not name names.
Not
no,
name names.
not name names.
We are not communist sympathizers.
It's not what we do here.
Wait, what?
What?
So, thank you. Thank you. Please rate, review, subscribe on iTunes, Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah.
Spread the word.
Spread the word.
Yeah,
Love us.
we're going to be doing more reviews as we get more invites to these
Yeah.
things.
We'll see you at the movie theater, but more importantly, we'll see you at the comic shop.